Welcome back to the channel. Wayne King with 717 Throttle Therapy. I just love to ride, and that's really what the channel's about. Motorcycles and motorcycle-related topics. I'm in southeast Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it gets a little chilly here. So I know some places it gets a lot colder than it gets here, and some places don't get as cold. But what do we do to stay warm when we're out riding in the wintertime, when the temperatures get a little chilly? I have a couple of things that I do, and hopefully, this can help you out if you're looking for some cold weather gear, type of stuff to keep you warm. So here are a few options. I'll go through a few things that I use, some gear that I've had. Some of it I've had for quite a while. Some of it's a little newer. But when we were in, and I know some of you, if you're in Arizona or Florida or somewhere, you're like, well, these are great. This is a great time of year for you guys to ride. In the summertime, not so much. Man, we were down in Arizona the first week of June, and it was 170 degrees. That's too warm. I mean, that is just warm. And I know what they say. It's a dry heat. Yeah, well, so is a fire. You still don't stick your ass in it. That's just too warm. But when it gets down to about 40 degrees Fahrenheit or a little bit below, that's where I start to think about using my heated gear. Now, my wife, she doesn't like the cold so much, so it gets to mid-50s and she's using her heated gear, which is fine. Doesn't matter, but I'll go over some of the options of some of the things that we have. Another thing with cold weather riding, I look at it this way. In the summertime, you can only take so much, you can only legally take so many clothes off. Wintertime, you can always add a few things if you need to. You can add layers, you can use heated gear, you know, that type of thing. But my dad used to say as we get older, the better we look with more clothes on. So it's kind of a running joke with us there. But, when it comes to riding motorcycle, you can always add more as the temperatures get cooler, or heated gear. The things that I have the biggest challenge with for myself personally are my fingers and my toes. So I've got 3 pairs of heated gloves here. Now these are all battery operated. These 2 styles use these batteries. I like these batteries. They're small. They're very compact. Now, there is some gear that uses a bigger battery, and I know my son has a jacket that uses a bigger battery, kind of like the Milwaukee size batteries, but he has different ports, so he can also charge a phone or something off of it. If he's out all day, he's out for 6 or 8 hours, and he needs his phone batteries dying, he can also use that to charge that. You can't do that with these small batteries. These are strictly made to plug into your gloves, heated liners, that type of stuff. So there's different options out there. This is what I prefer because I'll put some extra batteries maybe in a pocket or something. I get it that they might not last as long as the bigger batteries, but I prefer these because they're small, easy to carry around, easy to take some extras with you. I like batteries versus being plugged in. And I do have some stuff where you need to be plugged into the bike. I like to be independent of the bike, of being plugged into the bike. I also use these. I've used these gloves for skiing and that type of stuff. These, and I don't know how to say this word, ANSAI, Ansai, I don't know how to pronounce it. I love these. They are older. They're starting to, they don't do as good a job as they did when they were new. I bought these back in, I want to say 2015. And I got a great deal on them because the place was going out of business. And they were, it was a Can-Am dealer locally. And they were just trying to move stuff, gear and that type of stuff. So, but it takes this style battery, the small batteries. The battery goes, it plugs in here. And then you slide it in here. And zip it closed. The power button right here hold it in to get it started, and then you have different settings. 75%, 50%, 25%, just hold it in to turn it off. So that's this style of glove. One of the things that I really liked, actually the main thing that I liked about these gloves was they're not bulky. You know, they're not, well, I shouldn't say they're not bulky. They're not as bulky as a lot of other gloves. And yet they did a good job. I used them, I mean, every year up until last year when I bought these. Then I decided to try these. And I also bought a pair of these, just a different style, a little bit cheaper. But you can get a decent pair of gloves for around 50 to 60 bucks. Decent pair of heated gloves. Now, you want something that's a little bit better, that's going to last a little bit longer, better battery life, all of that type of stuff. I highly recommend California Heat. This is what I prefer right now. These are the ones that I wear the majority of the time. I still wear these now and then, but not as much because they're not doing as good a job. They're getting old. And I don't know if healing elements kind of start to burn out or whatever. I don't know what happens with them, but wear and tear. They just get older. But I love these. These are my favorite ones for now. They're still gloves, and I don't like wearing gloves because I don't like. I feel they restrict you a little bit, but as far as feeling and everything. However, I wear them for a couple of reasons. Now, when it's colder, I wear them for the simple fact that I need to keep my hands warm. But there are other reasons for wearing gloves. One of those reasons is protection from the bugs or maybe stones, stone chips flying off the road from a vehicle in front of you, which happens. I mean, even if you're back, you're safe following distance, it doesn't mean that it can't happen. Cars going the opposite way or something. Bugs will hit you in the hand and they can hurt. Some of those big bugs will hurt. So gloves help with that type of stuff. But this time of year, what we're talking about here is the heated stuff. These are another great option. One of the things I really like with this is the power buttons right there. Hold it in, and you've got your 3 settings. Hold it in and keep it in, and it's off. It's real easy, a little bit easier to turn them on and off when you're out when you're on the bike and you have your gloves on and everything. The batteries are a little bit different. They do not quite have the battery life that these do. I just know that from personal experience. However, great glove. And this is Velazio. I don't know how to say that word. There you go. Another thing that I like to keep warm, toes. Here's one of the options for keeping your feet warm. This is a sock liner, a heated sock liner. Now, this needs to be plugged in. If your bike has one of these plugs for heated gear, you already have that, no problem. There you go, plug it in and you're good to go. If not, you can connect this to your battery, run that plug to wherever it's convenient for you, and there you go. These do okay. However, I prefer other options. That's just me. Doesn't mean those aren't a great option. They're made by Gerbing. Gerbing, yeah. Great option. They're around, I want to say $100. My favorite thing when it comes to keeping my feet warm are my heated boots. And now I got these I got a heck of a deal on these. They were marked down. It was the last pair they had of this style. They were getting the new styles in, and so they wanted to move these. This was the last pair. And my wife told me, she said, you got to come check out these boots. They're heated boots. I said, yeah. I knew they were made heated boots, but I didn't want to spend the $400 or $500, $600, depending what type you're getting. You're spending quite a pretty good chunk of change. Well, they had them on special for 75 bucks. So I got them. They were my size. So these were the last pair that they had like this, and they happened to be my size. I wear 9.5. So I was like, awesome, I got them, $75. Now, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, I understand. Or typically they're over 400 bucks. There are cheaper options. Heated socks. Now, I will tell you this. I was cheap when I bought these, and I got them for less than 30 bucks. They work okay, but these batteries, they don't last. An hour into it, and man, the battery's starting to die. So if you're just looking to do a light, a ride, just a quick ride now and then over the wintertime, you want something to keep your toes warm, this is a good option for that. If you're looking to do longer rides, I don't recommend these. I'm just being honest. My son has a pair of, actually his girlfriend got them for him, and he has a pair of heated socks, and they're much better, but they cost a lot more money. I think they were around 70 or 80 bucks. I don't know for sure, but I know they were more. But he claimed he can sit out. Now they don't, with heated socks, they don't get real warm. At least these didn't, but they just get enough to take the edge off. And that's really all I want. I don't want my feet sweating. I just want something to keep my toes from getting real cold and freezing, I don't want them going numb. That's really all I'm looking for. But my son, the ones that he has, he said he can be out 6-8 hours and the battery lasts. So you get what you pay for. It's definitely worth spending a little bit more money, unless, like I said, if you're only looking now and then, you get out for maybe a half hour or so and you don't want it for very long. Well, then a $30 bucks will get you what you need for your application. Let's move on to the upper body. Those are the two main things for me. But we'll move on to the upper body. I have a liner here. This is a liner. You wear this, you can wear it underneath your shirt. You want to wear something, you don't want it directly against your skin because of the heating coils in there and the heating elements. It's best to not have it directly against your skin. But I wear this under my jacket. It takes the same battery my gloves do. This style battery. Excellent option. Anywhere from, oh my goodness, depending what, again, you're looking for quality that's going to last a little bit longer. You're probably going to spend a little bit more money, but on average around $100. Jackets. This is a heated jacket. This, personally, this is our favorite as far as for the heated jackets. Gerbing makes this. Guy, I don't know what the name is, but I guess it's owned by Gerbing. I don't know what the deal is, but at any rate, you can look this up. Look up heated jackets, and there's different options. The thing that's nice about this is it can be worn as an exterior jacket. It's a little bit thicker and can be worn. You don't have to wear something over top of it like you do with the liner. I mean, I guess you could wear this on the exterior too, but it doesn't keep you. It works better under a shirt or under a leather jacket or something because it's considered a liner. But this is a jacket. Excellent choice. Takes this style battery. See a common theme? If they take the same battery, you can put a couple extra batteries, take a couple extra batteries with you, like I mentioned earlier, and you're good to go. This one is another jacket. Can also be worn on the exterior or underneath your leather or something. Now, this one we bought at Harley, and it is older. The battery is not lasting as long, and unfortunately, it's not the same style battery. Size looks the same, but the plug is different. So, but this is getting up to, I think we bought this in 2014, 2015. So it's getting up to 9-10 years old. So it does still work. It still works. It just the charge doesn't last as long. What about your legs? I've honestly never worn or never even had a pair of heated pants. I know some guys like them. I've never had a pair. That's not something, for me, it's not something that I really have a difficult time keeping warm. So, but I do have a couple of options here. One is long underwear. Sometimes I'll just wear a pair of these and then a regular pair of jeans right over top of them. You can get them for $20-30. Another option is these jeans with the liner on the inside. I tell you, this is a great option. If you're getting down into, 20 degrees, well, you're going to want something a little bit heavier probably. But, if I get out today, and it's 35 to 40 degrees, hey, I'll just put these on. It's a great option. Another option is chaps, leather chaps. Ha! I keep these rolled up. I keep a pair of these rolled up, and I'll keep them with me in the saddlebags, usually over the winter time, for the simple fact that unsnap them, unroll them, and there you go. You can put your chaps on. You can take them on, off. If you get to where you're going and it starts to warm up a little bit and your chaps you're too warm with chaps, then just take them off, roll them up, and put them back in your saddlebag. Oh, another option that I forgot to mention earlier for gloves. I bought these for the ATV. However, I've used them on my street glide, and they work. They work just fine. Has a cutout here for the mirror. You slide these over the handlebars and slide your hand in there, or over the handlebars, over the grips, and there you go. So that's another option. These were cheap. They're not real expensive. Well, I got them for the ATVs, and usually when I'm on the ATVs, if I'm out plowing snow or something, I'm not out for 8-hour ride. So I wasn't that worried about, the best quality. These are fine. $25 and you can get yourself some of these. They're okay, but if you're looking for quality there is a company called Hippo Hands, and I've heard a lot of good about them. I do not have a set of those, but the guys that get them, I follow a couple of pages on Facebook, and guys are talking about them, and they absolutely love them. They're a little more expensive. I think they're around $200, $150, $200. However, they are, if I understand it correctly, they're motorcycle specific. So, you want to let them know what type of motorcycle you have, because some of them, and this is my understanding, some of them fit over the hand guards on the bikes. So they need to be, a better fit, which is probably why they're a little more expensive. But they're, from what everybody says, from what I keep hearing people say, they are top-notch quality, top quality. They're an excellent product. So there's a couple of things. What do you do to stay warm in the wintertime? Now, if you're down south and, you don't have the cooler temperatures, this might not apply to you. But hey, nothing wrong with watching the video anyway and still learning, right? But then again, you might think it's cold when it's 60. That's when you're putting a coat on. And if you're riding in 60-degree weather, well, to me, oh my goodness, I'm not wearing any of this stuff when it's 60 degrees. Just a brief story before I get on out of here. I left for Florida a couple years ago, and it was 29 degrees, 5:15 a.m. when I left my house. Now, I had extra batteries. That was the only time that I've really used all of my gear to the full capacity. And because I thought I get partway there, or I get down there like Harrisonburg, Virginia, and the sun's out. They were calling for clear skies. I figured once it's daylight, it'll warm up. It warmed up 3 degrees. I got down to Harrisonburg and I stopped for fuel, and I was starting to get a little chilly. And stopped, got gas, had a cup of coffee, but it was only 32 degrees. And so I was expecting it to warm up a little bit quicker, a little sooner, a little earlier. No, I had my heated gear on until I got to Roanoke, Virginia. And that was when I took it off. I did end up riding the whole way through. It was 1,100 miles that day. Actually, a little bit less than 1,100 miles. But I did ride it straight through because the weather got beautiful. Towards the farther south I went. It got up into the mid-50s, which is perfect for me. And I just rode it straight through. I called my friend. I said, is it all right if I get to your house this evening instead of tomorrow? Because I was going to get a motel that evening. But at any rate, there's a couple of things. That's what I do to help keep myself warm. My wife, she loves her heated vest or her heated jacket and her heated grips. Oh, that's another thing. I have heated grips. We have heated grips on 3 of the motorcycles. That does great for, I mean, I love heated grips, don't get me wrong. However, it keeps your hands, the palm of your hand warm. It doesn't do much for the exterior, for the top of the hand. And guess what's exposed? You're riding like this. Guess where most of that wind is hitting you? Right here. So that's where heated gloves come in. However, the best of both worlds to keep your hands warm, heated gloves and heated grips. There you go. You can turn your heated grips on low, you know, if you're wearing heated gloves, because they won't have to be, and turn your heated gloves to wherever you want them. But that's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. What do you guys do? What's everybody do for cold weather riding? You know, tips, tricks. Maybe you like being plugged in. Maybe you have the heated pants and you love them. I've never worn a pair, never had a pair, never worn a pair. Just haven't felt the need for them. Maybe you do. But again, thanks for hanging out. And I usually hang out in my garage. Tonight I'm down here in the basement. Or today I'm just here in the basement hanging out to do the video. All right, over and out. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe. And come on back and check out some other videos.